There is a kind of tiredness that does not feel like needing sleep. It feels like coming home from being a person. You close the door, put your keys down, and your face finally drops. Your shoulders lower like they have been holding a pose all day. The room is quiet, but your head is still working. You replay what you said. You check whether you sounded normal. You remember the smile you forced, the message you softened, the moment you laughed half a second late. Then someone asks, why you never do anything anymore. You want to say, because I have been doing something all day. I have been editing myself in real time. But that sounds dramatic, so you say, I'm just tired. And maybe you are. But it is not ordinary tired. It is the exhaustion of running two versions of yourself at once, the person in the room and the person checking whether that person is acceptable. No wonder motivation disappears. The battery was already being spent on staying convincing. Today we're going to break down what happens when you burn out from pretending, why it can look like laziness from the outside, and how to stop treating your exhaustion like a character flaw. Welcome back. Let's get started. This kind of burnout is hard to see because you may still be functioning. You answer messages. You show up. You make jokes at the right time. You say, no worries, while your stomach tightens. You keep your voice steady, even when your mouth goes dry. You look calm enough that nobody asks what it costs. Then later, when you finally get alone, your system shuts down. You sit at your desk and try to start one simple thing. Open the file. Read the first line. Reply to one email. Nothing huge. Your hand reaches for the mouse, then stops. You open the app you did not need. You close it. You open it again, because apparently the first check did not contain enough disappointment. It looks like avoidance. Inside, it feels more like your system refusing another performance. Pretending is not only lying. Sometimes it is saying yes before your body has finished saying no. It is acting interested while monitoring your face. It is sounding okay so people do not have to deal with you. It is making your needs smaller because the room seems easier when you take up less space. Do that for long enough, and normal life starts to feel like a stage with bad lighting and no backstage door. You are not only living, you are rehearsing, performing, and reviewing the performance at the same time. That uses energy. Real energy. Your brain tracks what you feel, what you show, what others might notice, what they might think, what you should say, what you should hide, and whether your hiding is obvious. It is like keeping too many browser tabs open, except every tab is playing a different small alarm. One says, be pleasant. One says, do not be needy. One says, do not disappoint them. One says, do not let them see how little you have left. Then people tell you to be more disciplined. Lovely idea. Discipline helps when the task is the main drain, but when the performance around the task is draining you, discipline becomes one more mask to hold up. This is not laziness. Laziness is not wanting to spend effort. This is what happens when effort has been leaking out of places nobody counts. The body keeps score in ordinary ways. Your jaw stays tight after the conversation ends. Your neck aches from holding posture. Your chest feels shallow, like breathing all the way down would make something spill. You sit in silence and still feel watched. No one is watching. The audience can leave, but the monitoring stays. At some point, pretending becomes automatic. You do not decide to do it. Your body starts before you catch up. Your voice brightens. Your face arranges itself. Your tiredness gets translated into, I'm fine. And because you are good at it, people believe you. That can feel safe for a while. If nobody sees the real strain, nobody can judge it. If you stay useful, agreeable, low maintenance, funny, composed, or impressive enough, maybe you will not become a problem. But safety bought this way has a hidden fee. You do not only hide pain from other people, eventually you start hiding it from yourself. This is where motivation gets misunderstood. People imagine motivation as a spark. You either have it or you do not. So when you cannot begin, they assume the spark is missing. But sometimes the spark is there, and your system will not let it reach anything. Because starting something means becoming visible again. It means making choices, risking feedback, meeting expectations, and touching the old fear that if you stop performing well, you stop being worth keeping around. So the task is not just the task. No wonder your brain reaches for numbness. This is the deeper part. Pretending trains your brain to mistrust your real signals. Hunger becomes inconvenient. Anger becomes rude. Sadness becomes too much. Exhaustion becomes weakness. Need becomes danger. After enough repetition, your first reaction to a feeling is not to listen to it. It is to manage how visible it is. So when burnout arrives, it often arrives as fog. You cannot tell what you want for dinner. You cannot choose a show. You stare at a message and the words stop meaning anything. Someone asks a simple question and your brain treats it like a form with 20 hidden fields. You are not being difficult. Your system has spent too long translating real signals into acceptable signals, and now the original language is harder to hear. That is why advice like, just be yourself, can feel almost insulting. So, do not shame yourself for needing time to come back. The goal is not to rip every mask off at once. That usually just scares the system and makes the mask come back harder. The goal is to stop confusing the mask with your whole identity. Start smaller. Notice one place where you automatically edit yourself. Right where the mask first appears again. Maybe it is the laugh you add so your message sounds less direct. Maybe it is the "no worries" you type while your skin feels hot with irritation. Maybe it is the way you say you are tired, but immediately make it sound harmless. Catch that moment without attacking it. Ask what it is trying to prevent. A useful question is not, "How do I become motivated again?" Sometimes a better question is, "Where am I spending energy pretending I am okay?" Because if your energy is being used to hide the wound, you will not have much left to heal it. This is not about becoming brutally honest with everyone. It is about becoming less fake with yourself first. But slowly, the system learns that a real signal is not an emergency. A boundary is not a crime. A quiet evening is not proof that you are falling behind. A tired day is not evidence that you have failed as a person. Motivation often comes back after safety comes back, not before. Because motivation is not just fuel. It is permission to move without feeling like every move will be judged. So if you have been staring at your life wondering why you cannot start, maybe the question is not why you are so unmotivated. Maybe the question is why every honest move feels so expensive. You are not weak because the mask got heavy. You may have been strong for so long in ways nobody saw that your body finally stopped volunteering for the performance. Burnout from pretending is not proof that the real you is broken. It is the bill for being acceptable at the cost of being present. If you want more uncomfortable but useful truths about your mind explained clearly, subscribe.